Hello and welcome to this edition of Monthly Metaphysics Mastery for the month of June. If you are interested in finding out if you have any of the animals that I'll be talking about shortly, you can head on over to my chart generator here simply by taking your phone and scanning the QR code, or you can go over to my website, amytyson.com. And enroll in the free courses, and you'll have access to the free chart generator there. So go ahead, take a screenshot of that QR code and generate your life chart. If you need it, you'll go here and you'll enter your birth date information, and it'll generate the chart that I will show you in just a little bit. Well, let's get started on this month of June, the metal horse. The metal horse came into play on June 5th. This video was posted on June 5th. If you're watching this later in the month, know that this influence started coming in on the first part of June. It didn't click over on June 1st. In fact, in Chinese metaphysics, it's always the early part of the month that we transition to the new energy of that month. So this is the metal horse, and the metal horse is the second month of our fire animal. Sorry, it's the cardinal animal, so it is the peak of fire, and it is the height of fire, though it has a strong metal component to it. That's why we call it the metal horse. And the metal horse has two images that we may be seeing. The first is over there on the left side of the screen of a beautiful forged steel sword that's very fiery and very, shall we say, warlike. It's a beautiful image. The image right above me is of the more negative side of this metal horse, which would be a sword that's not quite finished yet. It is molten red hot, and it's under the anvil and the hammer being shaped into something new. Now, this one to me talks about hardship. It talks about being uncomfortable as you're turning into something else. So these are the two images that we can relate to the metal horse. So just remember that these next 3 months are very high levels of metal, even though this is a fire month, next month is a fire month. But these are the months that we need to be putting in extra effort. It's all about taking action. Money is not just going to fall in your lap. Metal element means we need to be taking action to secure the financial security and success that we want. So let's take a look at how it would express in a life chart. So over there on the left-hand side, we have an image here of a horse in armor. And then over on the left-hand side, we have the yang metal over the horse. And you'll notice that it says direct resource and rob wealth. This is the relationship it has to the 2024 chart. Now, the month of May, so last month, the month of the snake had a lot of things that happened. So let me just tell you a few things that we saw happening in the month of May. Remember, the month of the horse didn't start till June 5th. So everything I'm relaying was under the influence of the snake. Lethal tornadoes and flooding across the United States, the central part of the US. The reignition of fires in Canada. TikTok sues the United States. We have war protests erupting across campuses. New conflicts erupting in the Red Sea involving the navies of both the United States and Britain. Vladimir Putin is reelected for a fifth time for 6 years. Mexico elects its first female president. More airline issues are in the news. We've discovered a new Earth-size exoplanet orbiting a red dwarf star. We've got some riots going on in New Caledonia, which has prompted France to deploy 1,000 officers. We've had the attempted assassination of the Prime Minister of Slovakia. We have found bird flu in both cows and humans. Donald Trump became the first US president to be convicted of a crime. And near and dear to me, my home state, the Minnesota women's hockey team, the professional hockey team, wins the first professional Hockey League championship called the Walter Cup Trophy. What all of those events point to is the energy of period 9. We are fully charging ahead into this new period of 20-year energy. And it's all about warlike conflict, protests, rioting. It's all about women rising. It's all about discoveries in outer space, the power of technology, and the potential for a lot of political unrest. So in June, this fiery metal influence continues. Now, I talked about that we see direct resource and rob wealth there on the bottom. When we talk about direct resource, this is in relation to the 2024 charts. Let me pop that up so you can see what I'm talking about. So right over my shoulder, we've got a Rob Wealth right here, and we have the DR right there. So direct resource in relation to the 2024 chart. So direct resource is fire to our year chart. Now you're going to notice that the combination of animals in a little bit between the goat and the dog and the tiger also create fires. We have a lot of resource coming into play in the month of June. Now, resource, we typically look at direct resource as a third-party trigger event. So it could be something comes in and topples the balance, or something happens really fast. So what's our potential this month? Something really fast upsets things. This is a time where we may see people deciding to retire or to leave their careers and start their own businesses, restructuring in corporate entities, that type of thing. Direct resource is influencing this as well. Now on the top, you can see I have in red circled the yang metal and the yang wood. So the yang metal of the month of the horse, the June month, and the yang wood of the year of the wood dragon, so 2024, these are in direct clash. This is a very volatile wood metal clash. It's cutting, potential for accidents and injuries, so travel accidents are possible. It also suggests some possibility of, this whole chart suggests some possibility of viruses that are easily transmitted, and they would deal with respiratory issues. Yang metal is related to lungs, and there's a lot of movement in this chart. So it could be we see more respiratory issues. Remember, I mentioned bird flu being found in humans, I believe, for the first time. But other things that can be transmitted by the air affecting the lungs and respiratory issues may come into the news this month. And then we also might see some more of those bodily harm type things. That's the metal chopping. So we see a lot of things that could be coming this month. Challenges that we've seen in our lives may suddenly make some sense. And we will want to be looking at how we find our tribe, being accepted into, or finding the people that you finally feel at peace and at ease with. You found your tribe. This is going to be influenced by some of the stars that are energies that are found in this month. We have relief god, heavenly reef, and 8 seats. Now the relief aspects are going to be helping us forgive people that have perhaps wronged us. They also bring the ability to solve problems and remove challenges and obstacles. Really nice energy when we have relief gods and relief, heavenly relief. Then we see the 8 seats. The 8 seats, when we typically see that in someone's chart for the year, it's when I would be giving the advice, hey, get out there on social media, be seen more, teach more in front of the room, raise your hand in business meetings. This is about visibility. This is about things being brought to the surface and a light shown on them that have in the past been hidden. We can leverage this ourselves by being more seen, being out there, being out on social media, being out in networking arenas and adding to our network and not being afraid to raise our hand. Now, again, I told you about that wood and metal clash. This is likely to bring some drama and violence, and it's a harsh clash. Luckily, our dragon and horse don't have any specific clear interaction. The horse is just interacting with the other part of the chart. But what it does bring in is a hexagram called consistency. So the metal horse hexagram is called consistency. And above on the top are the three lines that represent thunder, and the three lines below represent wind. When we look at these two trigrams, both of them stand for movement. It is about not sitting back and waiting. It's a time for us to be thinking about how we can keep our client base, our students, our customers happy, how we can keep our clients coming back to us. This isn't about doing something for quick results. This is about the consistent effort, making pivots and changes this month. It's about launching or announcing something that's coming. It's about thinking like a big brand that's been around for a long time. These are brands that have made changes to either address the things that consumers don't know they want yet, or address the demand that they have been showing that they want. So if you think of the transition between soda and water, 30 years ago, it was not easy to find bottled water in a store. Now you go to a convenience store or a grocery store, there's entire sections devoted to water. And our big beverage companies saw that and did consistent efforts towards bringing those beverages in water form to the customer base. So that's what this is about. Consistency is about enduring the wait, making consistent changes to meet the ever-changing needs and demands of your clients and customers. Now, thunder and wind, both of these trigrams require us to be paying attention, because without movement, thunder doesn't occur. Without movement, wind doesn't occur. So if we're stagnant, sitting back and resting, we are not able to leverage the power of the thunder and the wind. These are very, very strong trigrams. So this is a test. This is a month that's likely to test career, likely to test relationships. Think of this as a month for personal breakthroughs. If you're feeling bored and tired with the routines and patterns that you notice your life taking, that means a shift is needed. That's the action step. That's the movement. Even though change or movement is needed this month, make sure that you are not messing with your guiding principles or guiding beliefs of your life. All right? Expect and initiate change. There is indeed some chance of lightning fast changes and turnarounds happening in our world. The world as a whole is overwhelmed with the energy that is influencing it right now. So if you are feeling overwhelmed, this is a month to take time for self-care. We can't just grit our teeth and bear it. We need to employ some self-care techniques, whatever works for you. Maybe it's going for a long walk. Maybe it's bike riding. Maybe it's meditating. Maybe it's reading. It's all about finding your calm so that the storm that rages around you, the news that comes into you, cannot sway your guiding principles and beliefs, and you can listen to it or take it in from a sense of calm. Right? Take time to do this, because the collective energy of the world is rather shaky right now based on everything that's been going on in the past couple of months. So our monthly theme is all about breakthrough with consistency. Stay right-minded about what's going on this month. We're all experiencing what is considered a very chaotic time. Embrace those breakthroughs to the things that you've been dealing with perhaps for years, but keep your calm. So breakthrough with consistency and everything will be fine. Before I go on to the specific influence that it's going to be having on the animals in your chart, know that you have access to 3 free courses on my website. You can go to amytyson.com. My website address is up there in the upper right-hand corner. When you get there, you click on the Enroll in Free Courses up in the upper right-hand corner and enter your information. No payment required. It's completely free. You never enter a credit card. You can access an introduction to 3 different modules: your personal lifestyle, your Daymaster, and your Guardian of Destiny. These are the foundational courses. Each one is about 30 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes. You can get through them pretty quickly. When you're done with one, the next one will open up for you. When you're done with that, you will be invited to take part in a free 30-day trial. Again, no credit card asked, of my I Am Club, which is an intuition and manifestation club. We meet once a month. We just met on June 4th. You'll have access to that recording and be invited to the July live class. It's a safe place for you to come and learn about what's going on from a metaphysics perspective and start to hone your own inner world and unlock your intuition and learn how to manifest using the tools of metaphysics. If it's really of interest to you, you have several replays on demand that you can subscribe to on this site as well. The largest one is the 2024 Summit. If you want to know exactly what's going to be happening for the rest of the year, you can enroll in the summit. You just want to know from a money perspective, the Wealth of 2024 workshop is up there. Or if you want to know how you can set up your home environment for success for the next 20 years, the Period 9 Feng Shui class is there as well. So let's talk about those animals and how they are going to be affected in the month of June. So that should say metal horse. Sorry, I missed that on the slide. It should say metal horse. It is a cardinal animal. It's out of the 3 fire months. This is the one right in the middle. It is pure fire energy. So it's the peak of summer. The clash animal with the horse is the rat. The harm animal is the ox. The combination animal, so kind of best friend of the horse, is the goat, which when they come together, pop out an additional fire. The 3 harmony animals to the horse are tiger and dog. Again, those 3 pop out another fire. If you have your chart, pull it out. It will look something like this, different animals most likely. You are looking at the luck pillar, the year pillar, the month pillar, the day pillar, and the hour pillar. Now, most people know the year that they were born, what that animal is, because you can go to a Chinese restaurant and they put the paper placemat in front of you and everybody looks to see what animal they were born under. Oh, I was born under the sign of the monkey. That means I like dragons and rats, but I do not like tigers, and I really like the snakes. That has to do with clashes and combinations and harmonies. That's what that placemat is based on. So not only do you have a year animal, you have a month animal, a day animal, and an hour animal. That's what we're looking at for the purposes of today's session. You'll also be looking at the luck pillar. These are 10-year cycles of luck that you go through that are influenced by another element and animal. So you can pay attention to that one as well. When we talk about an animal being in a location, so let's say you find out you have a rat in your day, and you find out that, oh my goodness, the horse clashes the rat. Does it mean you're going to get divorced? No. It does mean, however, that it will be impacting your relationship with the closest people to you, also known as spouse or really close people, like your besties, your best friends. This can be a jolt if it's a clash, something changes, something shifts, or you have an argument, something like that. Since it's just a month clash, they usually aren't too difficult to get through. It just is understanding what it can bring forth in your life. So this is an aspect, this chart is something you can refer to if you see one of the animals in this location in your personal life chart. You can refer back to here and know what part of your life is under the influence this month. So let's talk rat. This is that clash animal to the horse. This is a fire and water clash. It is an explosive clash. So if you notice you have rat, someone in your year, month, day, hour, or your luck cycle, it means something will be in upheaval. Some sort of change or shift can occur. It also can indicate a month where you have perhaps some blood pressure issues. So if you are prone to blood pressure issues, keep an eye on that. Horse-rat clash oftentimes has to do with the heart and the circulatory system. When we have this clash, it is oftentimes you solve one problem and another one comes up. There's some instabilities, some ups and downs that can happen. It could involve your work if it happens to be in your month. It can involve your spouse if it happens to be in your day. It can involve your kids if it happens to be in the hour. So just remember, keep your temper in check, practice a little bit more patience, calm yourself down a little bit this month, because otherwise these explosions will keep happening around you and it'll be a much more difficult month than it needs to be. Again, this is where we're looking in your luck pillar, year, month, day, or hour in your personal life chart. So now let's talk about the ox. If you have ox in your chart, you have the harm animal for the month of June. The ox and horse create what we call a lack of patience. Harms are usually more emotional. They have to do with just the way you're feeling. It can bring out some missed opportunities, some setbacks emotionally in some areas. If it affects your month, then there's some sort of setback in your career. If it affects your day, there's some sort of setback in your personal relationships. There's also the possibility that there's some potential gossip going on around behind your back. You could have some unforeseen stagnation. The month just might not feel like it's moving forward. So what you need to do is shore up your own emotional stability and your emotional strength this month. See things for reality and don't tell yourself stories. The sixth harmony, the combination, the special friend with the horse is the goat. These two combine together and they create an additional fire, but this is like an explosion. This is a really fast flash in the pan type fire that comes out. This is an additional fire element. When we see that you have the sixth harmony, typically we say it's a good thing because you're the combination of the month. It does depend on your chart overall, if it's something positive or not so great that happens for you, but that requires more looking into the full chart. And then the other combining animals are the dog and the tiger. So if you have either one of these or both, the tiger and the dog, or tiger or the dog, you have a partial or a full 3 harmony with the horse this month, meaning you pop out an additional fire. It all depends on what fire's relationship is to you. But typically when we see the 6 combination or the 3 harmony combination, we say that it's a month that you will receive good support, possible good news. It's a time to go out and network, to meet more people, to expand your reach, to have those important meetings because you have the special relationship with the horse this month. There's one more formation that happens, and that is if you already have a horse in your life chart. This is what we call a self-punishment. Now, there's 4 animals that this happens to when we see duplicates of them happen. So you have a horse in your chart, you come to a horse month of June. Creates a self-punishment, happens to you every single year. Now, this might make sense when you look back in previous years. A self-punishment is something that you do to yourself. It could be that you enter in an agreement to do something, or you say you'll do something, and then when it comes right down to it, you really wish you hadn't. And you put yourself in a situation where now you have to do it, you really don't want to, or it really, you don't have the time to do it, you don't have the focus to do it, but you have to do it because you committed. It's a self-punishment. In the month of June, if you have a horse anywhere in your chart, make sure you know what you're saying yes to, make sure you know what you're doing, because this is stuff you bring on yourself. This is like drinking too much alcohol and then having to deal with the repercussions. So you drink too much alcohol and the next day you have a really important meeting and you wake up and you feel awful and you're like, why did I put myself through that? That's a self-punishment. This is about loving yourself enough to not allow you to make decisions to harm you. Okay, don't sacrifice yourself for something or someone, or enslave yourself to someone or something this month. This is what it might look like. You might have a horse in your month, or a horse in your day, or a horse in your year. And this month comes in, now you've got the double, and it's the self-punishment. That's how you see it in your personal chart. Now let's switch focus a little bit and start talking about the flying star, or the monthly and annual flying star combinations that are happening. Now, this is a very low level look. Those of you who know your life star, if you've gone through my free courses and you find out that you're a life star 6, you know that you would be looking at what is influencing you in the Northwest. So 2 and 4 would be influencing your life star 6. Um, the 2 would be the one you would pay attention to find out how it's influencing you personally. But in this session, we're just going to concentrate on 2 aspects. 1, where the negative area is, and 2, where a pretty positive area is. So when we look for the negative, it's usually always with the 5 yellow. Now, this is the month 5, and it's landing in the south. Now, the 5 is very volatile. It's going to land in the south, which is fiery. So this is a pretty volatile 5 this month. Luckily, the 7 is there. That does cause some explosions. So we want to keep the south quiet this month. No renovation. Try not to dig any big holes. We're talking, several feet wide and several feet deep. If you're planting flowers and things like that, no worries. But don't be going and pounding new picture holes in the wall in the south, because it can activate the 5, and we don't want to do that. It's a volatile one. Now, down here in the northeast, we have a combination of a 6 and a 4. Now, a 6 and a 4 is a power 10 combination. This is a really good combination to activate flying star-wise. Combination 10 is really good for money. It's good for success. It's good for right mindset. So this is a really great space to activate this month. And when we activate it, it's the 2 places I'll give you to choose from. Activate some of our best energies. One is Fortune Virtue, and the other one is Duke Prosperous or Duke Horse. And we also have the Yin Nobleman. So Northeast 1 is my favorite one for you to activate, but you can also activate Northeast 3. By activation, this can be a short water activation. This is just like acupuncture. You activate, I give you June 13th as the date. The degrees will be roughly 30 degrees for Northeast 1 or 60 degrees for Northeast 3. All right, so you're aiming for either 30 degrees or 60 degrees. You're okay 5 degrees on either side of that. I'm giving you the center point so that you have a little flex from there. Above me, I have 2 examples of water activations. The one right above my head is a fancy big aquarium, and I fill it with water. You plug it in with the pump going, and it moves the water. That's one I use for long term. The one to the left is just a simple office garbage can with a water pump in the bottom. I fill that with water. That's very portable. I can move it to wherever I need it to go. This is an activation you can leave for 2 hours or up to 24 hours. So you can do it at any time. On June 13th, it works all day. There's not a specific hour. June 13th, all day, place a water activation for up to 24 hours to activate the good stuff in the Northeast for the month. So you're going to be, if you're watching this on the 5th, it's next week that you will be placing that activation. So what does this look like? If you have a floor plan of your house, this is the easiest way to do this, is take your floor plan out, score it off, figure out where the center is. So you can draw horizontal or diagonal lines, figure out where the center is, then you go stand there with your compass on your phone open, and you turn in a circle. You don't move from that center, you move in a circle. You figured, okay, Northeast 1, in this case of the chart I have up here, is in the bedroom. You put the activation on the outside wall. Okay, see where that little blue blob is? I'll point it out right there. That's Northeast 1. On the 13th, you will put your water activation there and turn it on. Leave it for 2 to 24 hours anytime during that day. So final thoughts of the month of June. Expect some changes. If you can facilitate those changes for yourself, the biggest thing I want you to think about is staying calm when others are not. Okay? Stay calm when others are not. If you want to be seen this month, you want to get out there in the public eye, the spotlight, work on that. this month. So hopefully those are things that you can do this month to bring a little love and a little success to you. And I really enjoyed having you watch this presentation with me. Have a great month. I'll see you in the month of July, the metal goat. And if you liked this, please like and share. Let me know what you thought. And you guys have a great month ahead. I hope you subscribe, and I'll see you next month.